You're in the kitchen.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Drop with Jillian and I. We're going to talk about a little Seattle recap, I guess, and the Takeya PPA that starts this weekend. Dylan, what do you have to say?
First of all, hello to all the listeners out there. First and foremost, the most important thing, got to address the listeners.
Sorry, my
Uh,
bad.
but yeah, felt like Seattle was a successful weekend for the two of us, which always makes doing a podcast a little bit more exciting because then we don't have to come on here and talk about our failures. But yeah, tomorrow is the Takeya tournament, starting with some singles. I saw that James was in the singles draw. I just have to say this right away. He was in the singles draw, slated to play against Christian, and now it sounds like he's backing out.
Well, he had Anton Good's first round. I think that was more so the reason. Because Anton
Oh,
is a
really?
fierce competitor.
Uh-huh.
He's a fierce competitor for sure.
beaten Anton.
James just said he's never beaten Anton. So I
Okay then.
think that
Played him.
he's never played him, but he's never beaten him. Um,
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
yeah. So it's really about the first round. He wasn't feeling too confident about getting through that first round, so might as well just take a few steps back. Um, so Dylan, I have a question for you. Why did you play? So last week, right? Who did you play in the first round of singles again?
Naveen
Oh, you
Beasley.
played Naveen Beasley. James has been telling everyone that guy's sick. So you lose, right? Why did you
Yeah.
play the backdraw? Why?
Yeah, I just felt like it was the right thing to do, honestly. Like, you see people all the time like go down early in the round and they just don't have the character required to grind in the back draw and come out on top. And so felt like for me, I was presented with a mental challenge that I wanted to overcome, and I accepted the challenge.
Yeah. So tell the listeners for winning, what did you get? Because for those who don't know, Dylan won the backdraw, which I think means that out of 32 players, he might have gotten like 20th place um, last week. So what did you get for that?
There were definitely a little confidence, honestly. Little confidence. It was tough to end the day on a loss to in the first round, and then but then going in the back draw and getting some pretty big wins, or like wins by like big margins, was good for my confidence, I guess, going into this tournament. Then obviously there are some points on the line. I'm still not sure how many points it was for winning it.
Maybe two.
Last round.
Maybe probably two. You honestly just, so for those who don't know, Dylan beat Kwang Duong, the Avatar ball bender, in the back draw. And you know what you took from that kid, Dylan? I saw that kid playing in the qualifying today. You taking those points from someone who needed them, it's really,
Amazing.
James says amazing. I'm going to say a little selfish of you, to be honest, because Kwang had to play in the back
You
draw.
think?
Then he had to play the doubles, or the doubles qualifying. He could have had those points, all of those 2 or 3.
He could have if he could have gone through me, but no, but yeah, I know it's tough. Like probably those points would go a long ways for someone that hasn't been playing as long as I have. But I really just couldn't. I couldn't end on that loss I had in the first round. Otherwise,Id be going into this tournament with zero confidence. But
I respect it, because you know what happened when James lost to Naveen Beasley? The day was over. The day was done. So I respect it. For everyone. Dylan is a first round backdraw warrior.
Will you play again? If
Would you
lose
do it
first
again?
round, would you do it again? If Kwang Duong wasn't in the backdraw, was it Kwang Duong that made you want to play?
Well, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, I probably would play it again.
All right.
Okay.
And in singles too. In singles too. I'd play it in doubles, but I don't know that I'd do it.
So you
I wouldn't do it in
didn't do
singles.
it just to, avenge your previous loss to Kwang Dong?
I mean, there was definitely some extra motivation in that matchup to win that one for sure, just because of our previous meeting. But yeah, that wasn't the only motivating factor at play.
Was it his dad too? You wanted to beat his dad?
I don't know where you're getting all this from, James, but yeah.
All right, we'll keep
Yeah,
it moving. So for everyone who doesn't know, Dylan got 22nd place last week. He won a lot of matches. Congrats, Dylan. Ben Johns and Federico Staxford played in the final. Ben won, pretty routine. Just Ben doing Ben things. Women's singles, pretty chalk all the way through. Leigh's done with singles. So bye, Leigh. That just, that really opens things up. But I still will not be playing. A couple people asked me if I was playing this week. And I was like, no, I'm not. They're like, oh, Leigh's not playing. I was like, I don't care. I'm probably not beating enough other people. Though me and Pablo Tejas did play some singles points today. We played to 7 rally scoring. Guess the score, Dylan.
Okay. 7-5.
For who?
Pablo.
I won, actually, 9-7.
Pablo.
I won. You can ask Pablo.
Really?
Yeah, but he honestly wasn't trying very hard. But I did win. Men's doubles.
Would have lost a lot of money on that.
Colin Lewis. Dang. Should have made people bet. But Ben and Colin lose. So first of all, a lot happened in men's doubles, right? Ben and Colin lose to DJ Young and Pat Smith, and DJ just got sent to the Challenger League, and Pat wasn't even drafted. So that's pretty big time, and quite the upset. And then Riley and Julian are out in the quarters. What are you thinking at that point? Because I was watching the men's final. I wanted you and J-Dub to win, but I also thought it would be super funny if you guys didn't win. Just because the field, it's like you guys had to win. And it would have been kind of funny if you didn't. But tell me what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
Riley's out. You play, did you play Matt and Jay in the semi? So just where's your head at, right? Ben and Colin lose. What does that do to your headspace?
Well, yeah, certainly when the Johns go down, it opens up the draw for everybody playing men's doubles. I feel like it'd be sweeter though to get first place and beating the Johns. That would make a victory just that much sweeter. But I'm not complaining that they got beat. DJ and Pat, I thought, played really well. Yeah, it just opened up the draw a little bit and gave room for a new team to make the final.
Well, I don't know about a new team. Fed and Pablo have been playing unreal. Once Federico switched to my paddle, everybody, that's the paddle you need, the AB scorpions. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Rafa says, yeah, right.
Rafa. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But yeah, I thought Fed and Pablo played great. What did you think of Pablo breaking the video board? I thought that was pretty funny. I didn't even know that happened, but it's funny. I actually went out to play women's and I noticed there was something wrong with the video board. Did you guys even notice that happened in real time?
I saw that Pablo let his paddle go, but I didn't know that it actually damaged the video board until after the match when someone was talking about it.
Yeah, I wonder what comes of that. But pretty funny. Yeah, I'm really curious in how him and Fed do. Also, what did you think of Riley and Julian together? I watched a little bit, but I'm curious your thoughts.
Honestly, I didn't watch a whole lot of them play. I think I watched maybe the third game of them against Pablo and Federico. And I thought Pablo and Fed were playing well, and it looked like Riley and Julian were still having some challenges as a new team together. It's tough. It's tough to partner up with someone that you haven't played with before and do well right away, or go up against a team that has played a lot of tournaments together and beat them.
Yeah, especially with kind of, I feel like
But
the
yeah,
way
I thought
Riley was playing the right and he was coming so far over. It's interesting. I'll be curious how they've got a couple more together and know how they kind of figure it out, because I don't know, it kind of feels like too many cooks in the kitchen from when I watched this weekend. So I'll be very curious.
Yeah.
All right. I suppose now we should talk about women's doubles. First of all, so Annalie Waters got her 6th straight Triple Crown. She's going for 7 this weekend. She's odds-on favorite to do it. Do you think she's like too good? Do you think the girl's just too freaking good? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's
T.O.P.
she tied Simone's record, right? Wasn't that the thing? 6 Triple Crowns
Is
in a
that
row.
Simone's record? I wasn't sure whose
Simone
record it
was
was.
like the record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's huge.
I think it was.
Big weekend.
Yeah, so she'll be breaking records if she does it again this weekend. So it's on you and all the other girls out there to either prevent her from making pickleball history or allow her to make pickleball history. Pressure is
Well,
on you guys.
I'm trying to help her out in women's, so I'm trying to do my job.
Yeah. Even more pressure on you than being her partner.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane how good she is and how good of a competitor she is. So, in women's, the Brashes actually played so well against us. It was I haven't actually played them this year somehow, even though we're more than halfway through the year, but they played unreal, and I don't know why I was they hit a few good drives early, and I missed one. I got a little in my head about it. I was fine the rest of the tournament, but they were hitting the crap out of the ball. It was really impressive. So shout out to them. And then other than that, though, I mean, we have to shout out Viviane David and Jackie Kawamoto. Viv's now, I think, medaled or got to 4 finals with 4 different players, and I never made it to Sunday with Viv. We're 0 for 2. I think we got 3rd and 4th place, and so that's obviously on me. But total stud. But we were pretty comfortable, I would say, all the way through. The Brasha match was scary. Viv and Jackie were scary, but once we got the first game, and the second game of that match was probably my maybe the second best game of my pickleball career, other than my first one in Punta Gorda against Simone and Corinne. Did you know that Georgia and I golden pickled Simone and Corinne?
I did not know that. Oh, was
Yeah, we
that
did.
was at the APP?
That was in Punta Gorda, yeah. Isn't that crazy? I don't think I'll ever do it again. It's unlikely, kind of, but yeah, we played really well. Felt really good out there. Yeah, Annalie is just so tough. She's so tough. I have this one with her, and then I only have one more the rest of the year, and I'm excited to play against her, because playing with her is fun and everything, but I feel like play against her, kind of see where you're at. She's got Catherine for the rest of the year, I think, so it'll be interesting. Pressure will be on Catherine.
Is Catherine playing this tournament? Takeya?
No, she's not.
She's not. Who are you playing with the rest of the year once you split from Annalie?
I have 2 with Megan, and then I have 1 with Leia, 1 with Tyra, 1 with Jade Kawamoto, actually, and I'm playing 1 with Simone. I'm playing Orlando with Simone, which I'm excited about. It'll be fun. She'll be,
Nice.
she'll be doing all her stuff, all her crafty stuff. And yeah,
How many
so I
have
think
you played with Simone before?
I have. Yeah, we played together at the South Carolina APP last year, and we got second. We lost to Georgia and Andrea twice, but we played well. It was really fun. I really like Simone, so I'm excited for that. She asked me, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that would be so fun. Sorry, I'm being silly. It's late because Dylan, we were supposed to start this like an hour and a half ago, but Dylan was too busy for me, so it's kind of rude, but yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, mixed doubles.
Tough
I have
to-
another
tough to
important
do.
question for you. So in Denver, me and you went 1-1, and then James and I got to the finals. So what does that say about you as a mixed player?
Oh man, that hurts. Um,
James wanted me to
well,
ask that.
interesting.
Or is
It's
James
maybe
just
maybe
that?
we
Is James that good, or like was I trying to
maybe
sabotage?
it's just the partnership. Maybe it's just not a partnership meant to be because I also found myself having a little bit more success this past weekend.
Maybe we're just meant to be on-screen partners, Dylan, and off-screen maybe that was a 2022 thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So just know that if you're, come the MLP draft in January, if you're, if one of us is on the board come second round, it might be best that, we just don't do that, So
I'll
feel,
consider you as a second round pick.
yeah. You should probably take Rafa over me, I'd probably go Rafa there in that situation. Like if
If
you're
I'm going
12,
off
who
paper
else do you want? If you get taken 12, who else do you want at 13, right? It's a no-brainer.
certainly someone that's had experience going to the MLP finals
For sure.
numerous times.
A lot more. After Irina, it's probably Roth. I guess Zane too, but you can't. I
Yeah.
mean, Zane, he's not Rafa, so yeah. So just
He was
don't.
on Rafa's
Just
team as
don't.
well.
Exactly, right, exactly. Everyone on that team was on Rafa's team, including Richie. Um, yeah, mixed. James and I had a good run to the final, even though we didn't really play our best. Had a lot of interesting stuff happen in our way there. Our match against Hayden and Maggie was tight. Not filled with, definitely filled with some, it was an interesting match. And then against Christian and Tyra, we barely scraped through. Honestly, Christian is probably the MVP of that match with the Who's Your Daddy bit when they were up 7-2 in the third. For those who don't know, we were down 6-2 in the third. We lose a great point. James hit a lot of overheads. They end up winning the point. They're serving. It's like 7-2. Christian goes, "Who's your daddy?" Right at James. And then I went from feeling like we had a 15% chance to win the match to like 55-60, despite being down 7-2 in the third. Because you could just see like James's whole vibe change. And from there, pretty routine, as routine as it can be when you're down 7-2. I think we won like 11-8 in the third. And then James proceeded to check my Instagram, everyone. I got like, is this called, I think it's a shoulder check? I got hit hard. I was feeling it for a couple minutes, like how hard he hit me. And the funny thing is, he was looking at me like he was going to do it again. But then he was like, "Oh, shoot, they're waiting." It wasn't even like, "Oh, I shouldn't do that." It was like, they're waiting at the net. So I'm going to go shake their hands. It was so funny. Then we got through Thomas and Viv, which was a really good match. I played on the left a lot in that one. And Ben and Leigh, I thought we played well. Got to play so good to beat any team with either Ben or Annalie on it, especially if it has both of them. And I thought you and Mary played amazing, too. I thought that was a really fun match to watch. But they're tough to beat.
Yeah. You guys, you were competitive with them for, which game did you guys win? The second? Third?
The second 11-7. I felt like we were very competitive at the start of the games, right? Like it was 4-4 in the first, even though we had missed like 4 or 5 thirds. And it was like 4-4 in the third as well, but then we made some errors and they kind of broke away. And you can't afford that. Yeah, they're really good. It's interesting, but 3 teams got a game off of them this weekend. But I keep saying, like, they play with fire. You're gonna get burned more, but they just continue to not get burned. So I don't know. I don't know which team's gonna do it next. It'll be interesting. But yeah. Anything else to say about Seattle? I thought it was a lot of fun. We had the Pickleball Funeral and everything, which was pretty funny. People mourning the tennis courts that were turned to pickleball courts were going to be turned back into tennis courts, which was kind of funny. Just shows people really want pickleball courts. But anything else to say, Dill, about the tournament? I don't know.
I did get to tour Bainbridge Island and see the first ever pickleball court, which was pretty exciting, and got to hit on it a little bit with the first ever paddles, or at least the same type of paddle that they started with, the wooden paddle.
That's very cool. Did you just feel the history? Just feel.
Yeah, it was actually funny because the pickleball court is in someone's backyard, and someone else, like the founders don't live there anymore. Obviously, someone has since bought the house and just left the pickleball court up. I don't know if they have to leave it up or if they just wanted to, but like we had I went with Connor and Fed and Pablo and some PPA people, Jake Weinbach and Ireland and Liv and some other PPA media people were there, and they were like filming everything. And when we walked up to the court, they're like, okay, kind of like be quiet because technically we're trespassing on these people's property, but we're gonna go there anyway and play pickleball in their driveway since it's the first ever court, and then we're gonna take footage of it. But they wanted they wanted us to try to like keep it on the down low because I guess they didn't have permission
They didn't even
to
ask
be
the
there.
people.
So,
That's really funny. That's really funny. So the court's
yeah.
on the outside of the house?
Yeah, it's in the driveway.
Whoa.
It's literally
Whoa.
the driveway leading up to the garage.
That is interesting. Well, that's a pretty cool experience. Definitely a funny one. Yeah. Let's talk about, not too much to say about this tournament. All the favorites are the same as last weekend. We have some different women's doubles partnerships, I suppose. Who's Riley playing with in this one?
For
Is
mixed
Riley
or
with
men's?
AJ here? For men's.
Yeah, AJ.
Okay, interesting. I'll be curious how they play together. They have played before, and I believe they stacked with Riley on the right, whereas him and Julian were kind of flip-flopping. So that one will be it'll be interesting how they go. And if you and Dill repeat, it would be really fun if you guys did play the Johns in the final and got the dub. Do you feel like you guys are ready to beat them? Like, if J-Dub is Big
That would
Poppy
be tough.
now, is Big Poppy ready to do it?
I think the new and improved Big Poppy can do it. Johns have to get there first, though. That's the thing.
That's true.
They've
You
got to
guys,
go through
you
Rafa
guys
to do
too.
it.
Who was
Yeah.
Rolf playing with? Who was
Marshall
Rafa playing with?
Brown.
Marshall Brown.
Marshall Brown.
The time to do it is early rounds on a side court. So let's go.
Yeah.
That would be
How many-
so funny. That would be must watch. I feel like Ben and
That
Colin
would
may
be
come
fun.
in with like a score mentality, though. I feel like they're going to be tough to upset early. I feel like that often happens after a bad event for them. So best of luck to Mr.
Rafa
Roth.
disagrees.
I'm sure that's fine. I'm fine with that. Sorry, Rob. Love you.
Right, you'll be regretting saying all this. Winners win.
I never said that it's not possible. I'm just saying I think it's gonna be tough.
She's not saying it's not possible.
Right,
She's
next week
saying
you'll
that
have
she
to get
doesn't
back on here and
believe.
talk about it.
Oh no.
What, James?
What have I done? What have I done? Oh, we have to shout out also Rafa and Jackie Kawamoto last weekend for going on center court in their first round in Leah Jansen shirts against Leah. That was top tier comedy. That was truly great. That was
That was-
maybe
now
the
that's my shirt I wear when I travel.
That has since become Rafa's travel. We wore that on the airplane.
That's amazing. I think that was the funniest thing I saw this weekend. I don't know why Memes of Pickleball didn't do anything with it. They're slacking because that was truly, truly great.
Rafa was on the airplane with his Leah Jansen shirt in first class, and some lady asked him about what pickleball, and he's like, yeah, I'm a pickleball super fan. I'm just traveling to watch Leah Jansen play this weekend, and she believed it all.
Oh, that is so funny. flying in first class as a pickleball super fan to watch Leia. That is awesome. Well played, Roth. Is there anything? I don't know. But yeah, new partnerships and, well, not new, but very different from last week. We have Georgia and Viviane are playing together. Lucy and Callie are back. Elise and Tyra, which is an interesting team. I think my half of the draw with Anna Leigh is very stacked, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully we make it to Sunday. Singles, Ben's a favorite. It'll be interesting if there's any other interesting results. Hopefully, Dylan, you know, I don't know, maybe you want to lose first round and grind through the back draw. I don't know what you want to do. I don't know. You know, would you rather lose first round and play the singles back draw, or go 1-1, win your first match and then lose? Which would you rather?
Do I win the singles back draw?
Let's assume you do.
I don't know, which is worth more points.
I thought it's not about the points. I thought it's about like the pride and the, you know, doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, if I lose first round, I'm playing. If I lose first round, I'm playing, but it's a matter of what I want to do and what I don't want to do. I'd probably rather win first round.
Have you ever withdrawn from a back draw?
I have once before, and I regret it. I felt like it poorly reflected on my character, and I had trouble falling to sleep that night. Just felt like I did the wrong thing, and wasn't a good situation.
Where was that? Was that at the Masters in singles?
No, that was
Where did you?
That was in Arizona, at the one by JW Marriott.
Wow, and you lost sleep over that? What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah.
That's very admirable of you, Dylan. Congrats on being such a stand-up.
I just care about the integrity of this sport, that's all. That's all it is.
Wow. Well, on that, everyone, no one cares about the integrity of the sport more than Mr. Dylan Frazier. He's the people's champion. Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else to add, Dylan? I think we're good.
One thing that was, I guess, interesting that happened last weekend that was talked about being addressed this weekend, but now it sounds like it's not, is the ProXR paddle was caught, like, the source of a lot of talk this weekend.
Oh, you're right.
Some people were upset about some singles players that had some deep runs that were using the ProXR paddle, and thought that they were, including myself, thought they were getting a lot of extra spin on it and getting some balls to dip in that would be very difficult to do with any other paddle out there right now. One paddle was challenged, and so I guess the way they do it is they test, like, when they test it for grit, they test like 4 or 5 different spots, and then they take the average, and if it's 40 or lower, then it passes. And this paddle that was challenged tested higher than 40, a lot higher than 40 in a few spots, but then tested really low in one spot and brought the average down, so it was actually legal. But so there was complaints about that, and then Connor was talking about maybe making a rule where if any part of the paddle tests at 46 or above, then it's automatically illegal. And then I also heard some people saying that the ProXR paddle wasn't going to be allowed to be used this weekend, but now it sounds like it is. Like, that wasn't true, but I heard from a few different people that was the case. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But it's
Yeah,
a
I
topic
feel like
right
they've
now.
gotta. We just need clearly. I mean, everything is so in flux right now, and we just need like more defined rules, I guess. And yeah, it's also, it's like, how far out of the sweet spot do they go to find spots? You know the 5 spots to test, like, that probably needs to be standardized in some way. You know, there's a lot, and I was very surprised that MLP didn't even have like grit testers on like a a Starrett device. last MLP. I hope, I'm sure after this buzz they'll fix it, but we'll see. I saw at qualifying many people using ProXRs today, so we'll definitely see them in action. It's not really a paddle that anyone is worried about pop-wise, like in doubles. I guess it's more of a singles concern. So, but it's the player, not the paddle, right? So maybe like if you had one of those, Dylan, are you really hooking the ball that much?
Probably not, but more than I could with other paddles.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I don't know. I've felt some of them, and I didn't think they were anything that crazy. But there's probably a lot of variation. I feel like right now in a lot of paddles, there's a lot of variation, paddle to paddle from the same manufacturer. So it'll be nice if we could get that a little more standardized. But everything is crazy right now. Pickleball is crazy. Everything is changing all the time. I feel like it's like that. The title of that book. It's like everything, everywhere, all at once. That's kind of how pickleball feels, I would say.
Let me get your take on this, because if paddle technology keeps improving, and I guess the PPA or whoever's going to have a choice to either let it keep improving or regulate it like they're doing now and prevent paddles from having a lot of grit, but then it kind of limits the player's ability, so they're not going to be able to hit as many crazy shots or get the ball to do as many things with the paddles that we have right now. So, but like in singles, if the paddles get really good and it will improve to the point where everybody's passing shots are so good, players will probably just opt to return and stay back as opposed to return and come forward, maybe, or at least more often than they do now. Do you think that would be good for the game, something that pushes it in the right direction, or wouldn't it be good for the game? And doubles would probably incentivize more speed ups because you can keep the ball on more, which would probably be more exciting to spectate. What do you think?
I am of the opinion that it should be regulated. I feel like racquetball largely declined in popularity because the paddle tech got too good, and the balls just simply travel too fast. We already have worries about concussion, especially with overheads like yours on the tour, and paddles like mine. Federico swinging my paddle is Miss Megan Dazan is still not playing, so and you and Federico's two of the guys with the most natural power, and if you got poppy paddles in y'all's hands, it's clearly a problem. So I would say I'm of the opinion of I think paddles should be regulated and should not be allowed to get too much. Like if you hit with a diadem vice, it's insane. It's insane. Like it's like a legitimate safety concern. And then I don't think it would be good for the game if it became totally like tennis, because in singles, if the paddles got so gritty and everyone stayed back, it would just, you already have tennis. And it's just not really possible, I think, for pickleball baseline points to be nearly as good as tennis baseline points. So that would be my take. I think paddle technology should be regulated. The PPA actually asked me.
I think I'm on.
Oh, you're on the same page, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think regulation is important. But it was funny, like someone asked me if, my thoughts on a tournament or a fun exhibition tournament where everyone used the same paddle. I think that'd actually be really cool, just to kind of see. Even if everyone used like a wood paddle, I think you'd be good with a wood paddle because you don't have too much spin on your shots. So it'd just be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I agree.
Get everyone in the same paddle and just kind of see what happens. So it'll be interesting because companies are going to keep releasing new paddles, and until testing gets really, really figured out and ironclad, there's always going to be these discussions of legality, etc.
Yeah. I want to, real quickly before we finish, go back to a topic that we were talking about on our last podcast in regards to the incident that happened in Beer City, because I read a comment that was like, you guys are making light of a pretty serious situation, which we were joking about my overhead a lot, but so just wanted to clarify that it was a serious situation, and I did feel really bad about it after it happened. But it sounds like Jesse's okay and back to playing again, and it is, like as you said a second ago, an issue. Paddles having too much pop and whatever on them can be a big safety concern.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a serious issue, but sorry if we offended anyone. But I also think it's kind of like we really should start to wear glasses as well. It's really dangerous, and if the paddles got poppy, like if everyone was playing with a Diadem Vice, say it's like we would need to be in like full face stuff too. If the paddles get poppier, eventually balls are just being hit beyond reaction speed. I feel like back when full delamination was more of a concern before they got the lamination tests on tour, there were some shots hit, like in practice, back at home from guys using paddles that were fully delaminated that were like, you felt like if that connected with you, that could kill you. Maybe not, but if it got you like on the throat or something, like it's really dangerous. And
Pickleball Dave.
yeah, I'm talking about Dave. But it's like, you can't, because the technology could get unbelievable if completely unregulated. So that's definitely not the way. Not saying they couldn't loosen the bounds a little bit. I don't think they should, but they could. But there's definitely a point where the game just simply gets too dangerous, and would be very dangerous, especially for people older than us, if they were to play with people young who could hit the crap out of the ball.
Yep.
Thank you for listening, everyone. You can catch Dylan and I in action this weekend at the PPA Takeya Open. I believe broadcasting is on a combination of YouTube, CBS Sports, and CBS. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.